Tonight's Daily Difference, crime and punishment. China's forced labor camps. Secretary of State Baker arrives in Beijing tomorrow, and on his agenda, Chinese human rights abuses. NBC News has evidence that Chinese products made by prison inmates are being illegally imported into this country. NBC's George Lewis followed a trail of goods from the labor camps of China to the markets of America.
A Chinese trade show this week in San Francisco. The province of Shandong ready to peddle its wares to American buyers in exchange for dollars. What the Chinese don't tell their customers is that some of their goods come from behind the walls of prison labor camps. Harry Wu, a Chinese national who lives in the Bay Area, has been keeping tabs on the labor camps in China. He says he wants to tell the world about them because he himself was a political prisoner there for 19.5 years.
I dig in the ditch, feed a pig, plant the rice, dig a coal in a coal mine. All of these are physical labor. 10, 12 hours a day.
Wu went back to China this year, posing as a wealthy expatriate businessman seeking deals with Chinese factories. He took a home video camera into some of the forced labor camps where products such as these buses are manufactured. According to Chinese internal documents, the camps are an important contributor to the national economy. And Harry Wu says the goods produced by forced labor are getting into the United States in violation of federal law. To prove that point, Wu went undercover once again to the Chinese trade show in San Francisco, accompanied by NBC producer Bob Windrum. Wu introduced himself as the president of an import company and Windrum as his marketing manager. They negotiated a contract for more than 2,000 tons of steel pipe from the Laogai Machinery Works, a known prison camp. Then, when officials at the show noticed our cameras, they got nervous. They tried to halt the picture taking, and on the contract with Harry Wu, the name of the prison labor camp was hastily changed to that of a legitimate factory.
He took out a pen without my permission and crossed out the factory's name. He said, I said, what are you doing? He said, there is no any products will come from this factory.
Looking for this gentleman, Wang Xiaowu.
I returned to the show with Harry Wu to find out why the contract was changed.
Yeah, follow me, please.
Okay, thank you. Why can they not supply it?
A lot of difficulties.
Is one of the difficulties that that's a labor camp? Or a prison camp?
The factory itself is pictured in one of the official brochures at the trade show. On one side of the gate is a sign that says Shandong Machine Works, but on the other side of the gate is a sign that says Labor Reform Detachment.
Doesn't that say something about labor detachment?
I didn't know that.
You don't know that?
I'm an exporter, not a purchaser.
But you can read Chinese, can't you?
Yeah.
Shortly after our visit, those colorful brochures showing the labor camp disguised as a factory were taken out of circulation. Harry Wu then took us to Hamul, California, a rural village east of San Diego, to a business called CDI, China Diesel Imports. This time, Wu posed as a man representing a major potential customer. He asked if his assistant, actually an NBC News cameraman, could shoot some pictures of the machinery. Nobody minded. Workers were unloading a recent shipment of motors from the Jinma Diesel Engine Works.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Chinese documents show that the Jinma factory is actually prison number 1 for Yunnan province, part of a far-flung network of forced labor camps. During our visit, the owner of the import company, a former country western musician named Hardy Day, wasn't around. But his wife was, and volunteered that her husband had been to the factory in China at least 20 times. Was Mr. Day aware that the factory was really a forced labor camp? We finally located him by telephone and raised that question.
We have documents which show that those engines are made by prison labor in China.
Oh, come on, he replied, and slammed down the phone.
Hello?
China's pro-democracy movement, before it was crushed 2 years ago by the tanks in Tiananmen Square. The human rights organization Asia Watch says many who demonstrated for democracy are now imprisoned in China's forced labor camps. The hands which raised the Goddess of Democracy statue may now be turning out products for illegal export to the United States. George Lewis, NBC News, San Francisco.
In a moment, a smoker's suit against a cigarette filter, and commentary by John Chancellor tonight.